wanted to mention two things. I think these cards here are both IBM Special Edition. As seen here on this huge ground planes, I will not take this out again for the next video, maybe. Also this one here is, I think it had a part number, but anyway. So also this one here has at least, obviously some IBM part number, the Matrox card here. I only wanted to mention that this is a very special Snowflake edition of VGA card that is VRAM upgradable here. Not really sure if this is a very standard so-dimm, but I will check in Berlin. Maybe I'm lucky and I have another Matrox card with so-dimm kind of slot in there. Otherwise I might get a PC regular Matrox card from eBay for just some $5 or so, just to have here some more VRAM, because this only has 2 MB of VRAM, leading in very low resolutions here in X. That would of course be nice. I really wonder why I have not upgraded this already decades ago. And then I will show you some more details on the RS6000 RISC system here. In the meantime I also found out that this port is a tablet port. Probably never used this ever, and also no idea which tablet would fit there, but whatever. Also on the server system, really strange a little bit, but anyway. So after the super long post system, as I said, 2 minutes or whatever, entering the firmware is F1. I've rarely done this, not even sure if I've ever done this. Somehow I will always just boot it here, obviously. T2 with CD and such. So actually I had to re-internet search this and don't even really remember ever seeing this. So you need to press here F1 or F2 for console. Not sure if this NVRAM battery really works there, if it's in there correctly. And then, as I said, F1 here relatively early, otherwise if you press this after the beep or something, you don't get firmware BIOS stuff there. And then the system management services here. As I said, not really sure if I've ever been in here. So config also, I realized this is also probably why I've never really been in here. Memory should be 1 GB, so I have no idea why Linux only shows 700 something. Maybe some limitation of the 32-bit kernel, really strange, need to investigate this another day. Also you see here, I mean, not only this diskette and integrated Ethernet here, also this COM ports here, quite standard addresses. You see a little bit PC compatible, and also tablet port here. And you need to find out maybe what's with this memory. And now you have the MAC address, but whatever, and serial number, firmware version and date. Obviously some multi-boot settings. I mean, really interesting that they included this. Not really sure what their intention was. If they test booted Apple code or later obviously Linux, but I think Linux came only way later. I'm not really sure if in 1999 they had already Linux on their agenda or horizon. Also access to the Open Firmware OK prompt, and utilities, some password, spin delay, error log, remote, early something, program loader, and SCSI IDs, firmware update, console change, and that's mostly it here, unless you go to the Open Firmware, which by the way we could do shortly. This was in OK prompt, because I was curious. Does it have, it has print and fair scrolling performance, you name it. Yeah, auto boot actually you can disable. Actually, why is OEM logo? Should this not be true if it displays this? But yeah, whatever, you get the idea more. So what I want to do next is actually get a new Linux on there, because the problem is not only this vintage installation from 2005 has of course in the meantime probably 100 if not 1000 security vulnerabilities, as so often with all the monolithic software stuff there. But the other problem is it also has a super old curl version, so it's not loading modern HTTPS, and due to this it is rather difficult for me to bootstrap here some new compilations, because in T2 we migrated not only to HTTPS, but also set standard compression. And I cannot even easily compile your set standard compression because I can't even download it. I would need to put it on a server of mine without HTTPS and such. Of course, not such a big deal, but of course in general it would be nice to test the latest and greatest Linux kernel 5. Let's see if we can get this booting. So, as so often, I said it already with SPARC and basically all the vintage machines, and in general I cannot just copy new userland programs over there because the glibc then requires a newer kernel. This is also really annoying then. This is why I can't just copy set standard and curl with HTTPS over there. I need a newer kernel. So let's test all of this. First only the kernel to see if it boots, and then later copy the whole user space over there. One small drawback though is they unfortunately also, as so often, because in the name of making things easier or maintainability or whatever, they removed unfortunately 3D support for Matrox cards there in Mesa. Unfortunately, a couple of years, 2 or 3 years ago. Wonder if I should bring it back. But the problem is also, should I really spend my time when all the other big companies mostly cause regressions and delete stuff? Should I invest my time into maintaining Matrox for Mesa, or should I just do my microkernel? Maybe an alternative microkernel with alternative 3D stack and such would be more valuable for the whole industry as a whole than my time spending on resurrecting deleted Matrox 3D code, because this X3 code, as buggy as it is with byte swapping, also when I change to 16-bit, then I get also distorted picture here, unfortunately. I tried this the other day for a higher resolution, because right now we only, with 2 MB of VRAM, we only get 800 by 600 here. And if I change this to 16, then I think I also need to mount proc. Somehow this is not coming up in this vintage installation for some reason. By the way, is the date right now? Okay, then at least the NVRAM should probably maybe keep the time now, I guess. But the problem is also I got another mouse because the serial Siemens mouse here, or Mouse Systems mouse, was annoying, didn't work. But the other problem is, this is probably, I know it works, did it not? I thought it failed the other day. Or is this now? It's strange that maybe the issue then is using 16-bit after having using 24-bit. And only that is setting. Yeah, now we get this, interestingly. Didn't work yesterday. So much to that. But then probably once having... Then I wonder if the console works now. No, this is garbled. But anyway, small bugs here and there. Does this work now, switching back? Okay. Anyway, yesterday 16-bit did not work. The images were strangely bit garbled there. But there you see the problem of Big Indian and other architectures. The good thing is of running your own Linux distribution. You can just, in a data center overnight, build you a fresh PowerPC image. So that is what we have done here on the data center. Of course, spending my nighttime here fixing some things left and right as usual, improving things and stuff. Also, the Linux kernel didn't build for PowerPC 32 because of some set alloc, whatever, something compressed pages stuff. Because why should this stuff build? First, I copy the Linux kernel over. We try to boot this, and if we are so super lucky that this hopefully still boots, you never know, regressions at bitrot, then I will also copy the latest userland over here and have a super modern, nice system. And then another day try to hunt more VRAM upgrades for this. Would be totally amazing to have 8 MB of Matrox VRAM in there too. Here in the Epic Data Center, PowerPC, let's see the kernel, I think built. VM Linux, somehow no init.rd, why is that? Where's our init.rd, but somehow maybe, or did ditlibc fail? Like you see, this is what I mean. The stuff usually does not just build. Yeah, ditlibc failed for probably no good reasons either. I fixed already a couple of things, maybe. Also, I fix, yeah, there you see the next thing, breaks. Device mapper, yeah. Also LVM2 failed. There you see this stuff just builds right, usually not. And also XDM failed, some patch doesn't apply. So this was not only here some fun, but also making sure all of our packages really build, because this is also an update not yet committed. There you see all the stuff usually to do here. And here's some patch fails, so I will spend a couple of more minutes hunting down here some small things left and right to have a more complete system in case we copy this over, and then we tune back in some minutes to test boot this. And speaking of bizarre and also small things I always kept fixing over the years, I just realized this mouse cursor is even off by something. I wanted to select here something. This is obviously off here by quite some pixels. Can only move the mouse until there. Probably some byte swapping again. Probably 64 bytes or whatever, something there. You see this is here, everything off by quite a bit, so yeah. And this is also the reason why I want to test the latest updates, because if the latest updates, first of all, maybe it also does entirely not work anyway, if the small things are still there, then I could also, as usual, using our YouTube channel here to finance some open source regression testing and fixing. So as so often, there was some regression with our Musel stuff. This glibc based initRD wasn't building with all the symlinks, so still need to do some symlink shell script iteration nonsense there. We copied this here at an amazing 1 megabyte per second, and I realized this will be total pain to boot because of this defs heritage here. So without heavy modifications, not really sure. The problem is, if I mess something up, I will not be able to easily recover this here without all my office equipment on the go. So this, for a start, is mostly only does the kernel boot at all, and then, because you see already the path is this old-fashioned defs stuff, and let's see how this goes. So this is, you see the upgrade from 269 to 507, I think I built. Root is now obviously, this should be SDA 3, I guess, and so 507 and label new, and what did I type here? Some gibberish. Read only. So let's see, VM Linux, let's double check our initRD. Do we have, initRD? Not sure how this syntax was, so I see a little bit hard to work with this. I mean, I have to say this is quite snappy here and such, with a little bit more VRAM and the working mouse cursor. This would be a nice machine for some work every now and then. Hello, what is up with this here? I have the feeling I scrolled there once some text here, some CPIO archive. Let's see if this is correct here. I think 507 boot initRD 507 and then image or something, and here dist also, and label new. This is here, you see this was some messed up terminal stuff. Really hate when these graphical terminals get messed up. Did I copy this already? Yes, I did. Let's see, is this dash? I probably have done this already. The problem is this old-fashioned. The problem is in this old-fashioned Yabut you can't as freely edit this as in modern grubs. And I think you had to run j bin yabut bin then. Let's do this some, because I don't want to boot here so often. This will be painful enough already without any real backup measures here, and still need to think how we want. Maybe it would be the easiest to just boot this new kernel to initRD, not continue booting, because all the init tab and all the fs tab, everything will be defs paths here, this long host 0 bus target and so on. Back in the day we thought this was a good idea. In the meantime I like it slightly more abbreviated, but whatever. And so probably initRD if this boots at all. Let's cross our fingers. And yeah, this does not yet. 507, this is a disk missing. Good that we double checked this. And also this is set standard compressed, so not really sure, but I think I tested this on the cube in the office, so this probably was working. Set standard compressed initRD. Should we maybe once more just to double check here, because this post time of 2 minutes really kills rebooting a little bit. So this could theoretically work. Then I think jbin to copy this to some partition, maybe, or not. This was really long time on this IBM. Anyway, I fiddle this out and reboot, and then we see. Unfortunately, this did not go so well. Some early exception there, so I also didn't have to run jbin. This was directly loading from the file system. So this jbin probably is only needed for Apple's variant to install this in this wrapper partition. Maybe not on this one apparently, as we have this new entry there without jbin. So here, just that this does not boot. Let's see. Can it recover? Maybe not. Unable to use memory at load base. Then probably 2 minutes of post time again. To continue some testing, I extracted the precompiled binary packages here from the last T2 release images, like 8 and 9, something from 2 and 5 years ago or 7 years ago. You see quite a way back. 3.19 and 2.6.34, both will be significantly newer than what we have. And the problem is here are some kernels actually, and right now I'm not even sure, because it looks like I had to rebuild here some stuff. We have here rock 2, so maybe back in the day something was also not working. Obviously after 15 years or so I don't remember that precisely what was going on there. So could also be simple things like, I think the latest kernel in T2 is building with SMP, and maybe SMP was always broken. So I will extract those, manually add them to the yarboot file and see if any of those boot would of course be at least some stepping stone, especially to get some newer userland or something. Very theoretically I could also use a slightly older T2 for theoretically Mesa 3D, but we will see what we will continue. But not everything the next days, just here this weekend, and then we continue another quarter or year or rainy winter or something like that. So unfortunately already the first 3.36 or what it was also doesn't boot, so maybe really wonder if what is this now, if T2 kernels ever booted, if this was some strange config thing. So so much to just updating here something, and how much time it always takes to find the root cause of these issues. And the 3 something kernel also not so much to that. By the way, funnily enough, Control-Alt-Delete works here. At least I think. I mean, screen painting speed here, of course, probably in fourth code or something as slow as it is. Wonder. I think Control-Alt-Delete worked a second ago. Whatever is with it. Anyway, so yeah, then so this will take serious efforts to understand why this doesn't boot at all. Hey, and look at that. I have the feeling this might be a pure size limitation. One lunch, coffee and walk around this beautiful village later, and we have a panicked kernel. However, we have it booted. Before we always had the open firmware erroring out there with whatever. Maybe it was back in the day already. Maybe this is also why the default Rock Linux and T2 ISOs did not boot on these machines back in the day. I remember back in the day I was probably fighting a week or longer with this machine to have something booted. So yeah, this is the latest kernel, and this is also so stupid with the Linux kernel. So much monolithic goodness, and then you can't even scroll there when it's panicked. So yeah, obviously no root system, because actually we have there. That is interesting. Have I enough drivers in there to have? That is interesting. Didn't really remember. Because I basically stripped down the kernel more and more, because I even already object dump disassembled the. Actually, I can also reboot. By the way, does it maybe so? Magic system request should or not? System request should be this one. Thought I have it in there, but whatever. Also, Control-Alt-Delete does really work, just not when the open firmware is too strangely crashed or something. So wait a second, this does not reset. What is this? This is funny. The reset button doesn't work when it's panicked like this. The more you know. Anyway, so I object dump, disassembled the kernels. I had there 269